How many real conversations did you have this week? Conversations where someone left feeling lighter, safer, and truly seen. What would change in your life if people leaned in when you spoke, at work, at home, in love? Because you carried a presence that calms the room. And if the secret wasn't charisma or cleverness, but four simple words that anyone can use starting today? Welcome to Stoic Blend, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Today, we'll learn how just say these four words can transform your connections by lowering defenses, building respect, and creating the kind of trust that lasts. Most conversations begin on autopilot. Hey, how's it going? Good, you? Then silence. In American offices, the routine continues. Slack pings, calendar invites, drive-through coffee, and a dozen how are yous that never touch anything real. Families repeat it at dinner. Couples repeat it before bed. Online, we scroll, skim, and move on. The Stoics will call this a problem of attention. Marcus Aurelius warned himself not to be distracted by trifles, because attention shapes the soul. When we talk without presence, our words create distance instead of connection. Here's the pivot. If you want depth, you can't keep opening with depthless phrases. You need a signal, a pattern break that tells the other person, I'm here with you. That is why just say these four words is more than a trick. It is a way of directing attention. We'll unpack four anchors you can use in any setting. Understand, sense, write, listen, and you'll see how just say these four words can shift energy in a boardroom negotiation, a tense family conversation, a relationship check-in, or a quick chat in line at Trader Joe's. As Epictetus taught, the discipline is not in changing others, but in choosing your response. These words are responses anyone can choose. Ready to test what presence sounds like when life gets noisy? You've spent weeks building a deck? In the meeting, a colleague steamrolls your points and takes credit. Afterward, you want to fire back. Instead, you pause. Look them in the eye and begin with, I understand. Then add a clear boundary. I understand why you were excited to present, and I need my work credited accurately in front of the team. Why it works. People defend when they feel unseen. I understand meets the human need to be recognized. Neuroscience confirms what the Stoics intuited. Naming and acknowledging can downshift emotional reactivity. Seneca wrote that a wise person is slow to anger because they examine appearances before reacting. I understand is that examination in speech. I understand this deadline is heavy. I understand why you felt ignored. I understand your decision even if I see it differently. Use I understand to depressurize arguments at home. I understand you are exhausted after the double shift. Let's plan the weekend chores together. You're not surrendering. You're removing friction so truth can land. This is how just say these four words turn chaos into clarity. If it is within my control to respond calmly, why would I choose a reaction that harms me first? Your partner proposes a tighter budget because groceries, rent, and daycare are crushing the monthly finances. You're anxious and tempted to argue. Instead, start with, that makes sense. Then be specific. That makes sense. Because inflation hit our food bill and the car repair drained savings. Why it works. Makes sense communicates that you've processed their reasoning, not just her noise. Specificity is the mirror. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. That makes sense. It's the tolerance that opens doors to collaboration. That makes sense given the numbers we ran. That makes sense because you didn't have all the facts. That makes sense for your schedule. Let's pick a simpler plan. When texting or in DMs, add a because clause. That makes sense because you got my message late. This upgrade turns empty agreement into precise recognition. And you'll notice how just say these four words begin to generate trust with almost no extra time. Epictetus taught that people act based on what seems right to them. If I acknowledge what seems right to them, I create room for what is actually right. In a heated meeting, a colleague challenges your approach. Instead of defending every inch, you say, you're right about that piece. Then add, and here's where we still differ. The temperature drops. Why? Because you let truth win before ego does. This is not capitulation. It's stoic courage. Seneca admired minds that embrace truth wherever it appears. Saying you're right shows you serve reality, not reputation. In romantic relationships, a timely, "you're right, my tone was off," disarms defensiveness and invites repair. "You're right, my estimate was optimistic." "You're right about the risk. We need a contingency." As a bison the mice, "You're right to feel disappointed. I missed the call." If a friend corrects a fact you posted, reply with, "You're right, thanks for the catch." You gain credibility and end the flame cycle. This is how just say these 4 words conserve energy you would have wasted on image management. If I cling to winning, I lose myself. If I cling to truth, I win even when I yield. Your teenager comes home after a hard day, school, drama, grades, identity questions. You are tempted to advise, fix, lecture. Instead, breathe and say, "I'm listening." Put the phone face down, shoulders relaxed, mouth quiet. Their nervous system reads, "Safe." The Stoics prize self-command. 2 ears, 1 mouth, use them accordingly. "I'm listening" is self-command in action. In dating, this phrase is magnetic because it's scarce. In marriage, it is healing because it's consistent. In friendship, it is sacred because it carries no agenda. "I'm listening, take your time." "I'm listening. What felt hardest about today?" "I'm listening, and I won't interrupt." Start performance conversations with, "I'm listening, what's most important for me to understand first." You'll learn 10 times more in 5 minutes, and people will work harder for leaders who see them. Marcus reminds us that we are made for cooperation. Listening is the doorway to that cooperation. You've seen each word in action. Now combine them into a single pattern break that upgrades any greeting. Instead of, "Hi, how are you?" try, "Tell me something good." If they share, "I understand." If you hear the logic, "That makes sense." If they spot a truth you missed, "You're right." And wisely, in that they self out of the quieted. When they need space, "I'm listening." This is how just say these 4 words become a conversation operating system. You're not manipulating. You're making it safe to be human. Seneca would call this training, "Adversity tests us, and so do conversations." With these words, you keep your equanimity while giving others relief, a gift people don't forget. What room in your life most needs this upgrade work? Home, or the space you share with yourself? Work, deadlines, credit, conflict, open. Before we decide, "I'm listening." What are we missing? Mirror. That makes sense, because last quarter's data skewed our expectations. Validate. "You're right about the capacity limit. We'll stagger the rollout." Anchor dignity. "I understand the pressure and I also need my contribution credited." Family caregiving, chores, schedules. "I understand you're carrying a lot. Let's list what can wait." That makes sense. Given the kids' sleep schedule, let's move the gathering to Sunday. "You're right, I forgot the call. I'll set a reminder." "I'm listening. Tell me what will make next week easier." Relationships, repair, intimacy, tough talks. "I'm listening. I won't defend myself right now." That makes sense. I've been distracted by work." "You're right about the tone. I'll own that." "I understand why trust feels fragile." Let's rebuild with small, reliable actions. Digital overload texts, email, DMs. Start with a "because." That makes sense because the message got buried. Offer presence in short form. "I'm listening" voice, know me the details. Validate succinctly. "You're right. I misread your timeline." And a holiday as is. Close the loop. "I understand. Here's the plan in 3 steps." These plays show how just say these 4 words can become habits that quietly reshape every room you enter. Perception. Pause before speech. Ask, what is truly happening here? Action. Choose words that reduce heat and increase light. Will. Accept what you cannot control. Master what you can, your attention, tone, and timing. Marcus practiced this daily review. You can too. End each day by asking, where did I use the 4 words well? Where did I react? Progress is the goal, not perfection. Today you learned how just say these 4 words can transform your connections. 1. I understand reduces resistance and brings relief. 2. That makes sense, provides specific recognition and alignment. 3. You are right, honors truth over ego and builds trust. 4. I'm listening offers the rarest gift presence. Use them at work, around the dinner table, on date night, and even with yourself. When you speak this way, you become easy to trust and hard to forget. If this helped you, please like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Blend. Your support helps us bring calm clarity to a noisy world. Which word will you practice first this week? And in what conversation will you try it?